Welcome back mga kaibigan, I'm GG Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
You're watching the Pro Gaming Series 2014 Summer Promotion. Laban na naman sa pagitan ng Team MSI EvoGT versus Team ng Pacific. This is the Game 2. This is their Game 2 at eto, one win ahead ang Team
MSI
EvoGT. So,
right.
Team Pacific have to win this game para magkaroon tayo ng Game 3. And take note mga kaibigan, kapag nagkaroon tayo ng Game 3, ang magiging game mode natin ngayon ay hindi tournament draft, kundi blind pick. So,
and that
very interesting.
Really exciting, especially we see double champs like double Oriana or Arnie or something like that, or double Twitch or double Susana. Really exciting stuff. Alright, so game 1 na po tayo. We're now into the champion select right now. Banning phase na tayo. Of course, on the blue side, we now have Team Pacific. And on the purple side, we have MSI EvoGT.
Let's go to the banning phase mga kaibigan.
Ayan,
Match
so,
between Team MSI EvoGT versus Team ng Pacific.
First ban coming from Team Pacific would be that Wukong. They banded Wukong also kanina in the first match, and they really don't want to deal with that. They've already seen the combination of MSI, the knockup build coming from the Malphite and all of that. So either probably Pacific will ban a few of those champions or pick up one or two for themselves. Most likely the Malphite is instant yung knock-up nun eh. Unlike Shyvana, medyo may konting delay. You can see it coming in. Unlike Malphite, it's pretty much almost instantaneous there. So we'll have to see.
So, mga kaibigan, habang nagkakaroon tayo ng banning phase dito, sa lahat ng tinakakala, for Team Pacific, we have, in the top ni si Yute, we have Dowmington, or the previous, former MLE Misery. The former jungler of MLE Misery. We have in the mid lane, Daisowas, former MLE Astarte. Daisowas means Dynasty, yung tatlong IGN niya.
Yes.
Dynasty, Solidra, and Astarte. So that is for the mid lane of Team Pacific.
Sa tingin ko, ito na yung last name niya ever. Kasi wala na siya madagdag eh.
We'll see.
We'll have to see. Pero
hindi pa tapos ang career nitong si Astarte sa kanyang competitive gaming. For Nisajo, X, and SJ, si former Emily BYY. For Team MSI EvoGT, we have George. Siya pa rin si George sa top lane. Forever, hanggang ngayon, siya pa rin ang top lane ng Team MSI EvoGT since nabuo ang team ng MSI EvoGT. Coops. For their jungler, we have Oni. Siya rin yung mid laner nila since nag-umpisa ang team na MSI EvoGT. They have their new member si Za. Itong si, even on the second siya si Bonakid. A solo queue player natin dito for the challenger.
Alright.
And Carl para sa kanilang support player.
Alright, so let's go through the bans right now. So we have the Wukong, the Paladin, and of course, finally, that Malphite ban. They don't want to deal with that, like I said. So like they're gonna pick or ban that Malphite away from MSI, and yes, that Malphite has been banned out. Now on Team MSI, surprisingly, they decided to ban out Soraka right away. Probably because of the strong Sorakas we've been seeing in the top lane. Of course, Elise and Lee Sin, very strong junglers. Since first pick nga naman ang Team Pacific, ayaw nila ibigay itong dalawang strong na junglers in their favor. So,
nakakatakot dito, they banned out Malphite na. This time, Pacific have to make sure na wala ng pressure na mabibigay sa kanila itong si Malphite sa mga teamfight na mangyayari kanina.
yes.
Ito talaga yung pinakamalaking pagbabago. Ito talaga yung nagbabago ng laro eh. They are at the driving seat, hawak-hawak nila yung laro eh. But with that turnaround from from MSI EvoGT kanina, just in time, they have to use that Ensemble Force and Shockwave as well. Instant change ng takbo ng laro dito.
Yes, alright. So, first pick up from Team Pacific, Evelyn. Sa tingin ko, si Evelyn most likely, this will be the jungler. Of course, we've seen Evelyn been used in the mid lane, but Evelyn isn't really that favorable in the mid matchup. Of course, there are some strategies that are able to use Evelyn in the mid lane, but like I said, Evelyn has been very strong in the jungle, and I expect her to be in the jungle still once again for Team Pacific. While looking at MSI's lineup, we have a first pick, Lulu. Now, we've seen it, of course, Lulu used to be popular as a support champion, but this past season, we've seen Lulu being played a lot in the mid lane. Very strong. Even after the nerfs, nakikita pa rin natin si Lulu dun. Although she's not as strong as before, she's still pretty good, especially when it comes to the team fight. So like, it looks like MSI really like this team fight composition. No, lagi may knock-up type or some form of lot of crowding control coming from MSI. So,
kasi, gaya nga sinabi ko kanina, ang knock-up skill, wala ka pang counter dyan. You have stun, yes, you have the stun, pero pwede kang i-counter dito ng cleanse, kaya mo disable ng ng Crucible. But when it comes to the knock-up skill, wala kang pwedeng gawin dito kapag tinamaan ka ng knock-up.
Except Banshee's Veil.
Yes,
Pero,
Banshee's Veil.
it's very easy to just pop it away and then
Use any
pasok
skill
nyo na,
to
diba?
disable that. Like what happened kanina sa
Oo.
last clash, 40 members of Pacific versus team ng MSI EvoGT.
Shyvana, diba? She removed the Banshee's Veil.
Hey, Jord have to initiate using that Q skill for VYY para matanggal yung Banshee niya dito. And that gave him the advantage in the team fight,
That's
and
right.
they won the game.
Alright, so the rest of the pick so far. So again, Shyvana and of course Lulu. Shyvana used by MSI EvoGT also a while ago after jungler. So once again, actually the Pharaoh Flare didn't really come into much effect. So let's see if Koops can do better this time around on the Shyvana. Now of course Leona and Lucian. We've seen a lot of really strong Lucians in the local scenes in the Philippines. So let's see if this Lucian-Leona combo in the bot lane for Team Pacific will be as effective as the other teams in the other pro teams in the Philippines. Now,
Yes,
looks
looking
like
at their lineup, mga kaibigan, they have Evelyn, Leona, and Lucian for Team Pacific dito. They have to change their AD carry na. Kanina, I think, first game nila dito, they pick up Tristana para sa kanilang AD carry ngayon.
Yes.
Ngayon, they have Lucian dito sa laban nila against Team MSI EvoGT. MSI EvoGT took the chance to get Tristana for their AD carry. So in the bottom lane, Lucian versus Tristana, in your opinion, sino mas malakas dito? Sino yung mag-dominate late game? I mean, early game, mid game hanggang late game?
well, so the first three picks of Team Pacific is now similar to MSI. It's a very strong team fighting composition. You got the Evelyn. They're all diving in, initiating type of combo where they have a lot of CC where they just chain it. But this time, like you said, hindi, unlike knockup, pwede siya i-cleanse. So we'll have to see if MSI play defensively and probably pick up a cleanse or probably a Banshee's Veil or some whatever way of removing those Crucible to prevent all those crowd controls coming from Team Pacific. The last pick, oh my god, looks like they forgot to ban out Nidalee. So Nidalee will be going through.
Yes.
Very favorable pick for Team Pacific here. And a Trundle, very strong top laner in League of Legends. Now,
When you have Nidalee sa inyong lineup, ang pinakamaganda pang combo sa kanya ay yung mga champion na meron pang initiation skills.
yes,
Kasi ang gagawin niya dito,
follow up.
give enough poke damage to their opponent and then wait his chance to initiate the team fight as well. So ang gagawin niya dito, use that spear, anything na magkakaroon team fight dito, and then once na makita niya na bawas-bawas na ang buhay ng lahat ng member of team MSI EvoGT, actually hindi kailangan lahat ng member, at least one champion dito ay namamagana with the poke damage coming from his champion. I think it's enough for them to dominate the team fight dito.
Yes, and since Astarte or the Isoas is really good at hooks, especially with the Thresh and Blitz we've seen before in previous matches in Team MLE, let's see if he's really just as good at throwing those spears on Nidalee. I expect him to be not much different, especially since it's a targeted long range skill. So let's see if he's still got that magic in himself, being able to land those spears onto the opponents of MSI. Of course, MSI, Shyvana and Irelia are both very tanky champions, and of course, support Morgana, which will prevent a lot of that magic damage, and that Black Shield will definitely protect
This would give them
whoever.
a lot of advantage in the bottom
Yes.
lane against Leona and Lucian dito. They have to make sure na ma-secure nila na maayos yung kanilang, itong si Morgana have to make sure na magamit niya na maayos yung kanyang Dark Shield to make sure na magsasurvive dito ang kanyang teammate na si Tristana. Tristana on the other hand, or itong si Za, dito pretty good job kanina sa laban nila, using Twitch as the AD carry of their team. And kaya ba niya sustain yung kanyang performance kanina using Tristana this time? Or mahirapan siya na mag-survive against Leona and Lucian in the bottom lane?
Yeah.
But alam natin lahat na sobrang effective ngayon ni Morgana when it comes to the supporting role. Sobrang nag-dominate lagi. They have the advantage. Yung kanyang, ang dami niyang skill eh. Halos lahat ng skill niya dito sobrang effective during the laning phase. Yung kanyang poke damage, yung kanyang harass against their opponent dito. Take note, melee champion pa si Leona. And Morgana is a champion na pang-counter talaga sa lahat ng may disable na champion.
Yes. Alright, actually.
Thresh, Blitzcrank, like yes, Leona.
Alright, so since the game's ready, we're just waiting for the delay right now. We want to take a look at Irelia's build to see if there's any been changes with all the rune changes on Irelia and Evelyn Dispatch.
So ayun mga kaibigan, for the lineup of team, let's see yung ating, ating runes for MSI EvoGT. Jordan in the top lane.
Alright, so very aggressive Irelia here, going for an offensive mastery tree. While in terms of runes, let's see here, still basically standard runes. He didn't go for the high armor, went for the health regen. Health regen has still been buffed. hop by, and this is actually some mana regen coming onto the Irelia, so this is something new. I haven't really seen this kind of rune page for Irelia. Of course, there's been nerfs to the armor, so let's see if it will still be effective on him in this matchup.
Looking at the masteries mga kaibigan for Irelia, we have here 2190, so standard for the AD Bruiser champion dito. For Trundle naman, let's go for his runes. We have here the top lane, Summoner Spell Teleport for his champion, 37 magic resist at level 18,
wow.
216 health at level 18,
really
11 physical damage, and 9.0 attack speed.
Really aiming for the late game, going for scaling
Jay,
HP and magic resist.
Yes, so Jay looking at his champion dito, he is aware na he will go against an Irelia champion na AD champion dito. I am wondering why wala siyang armor dito. Well, siguro nag-compensate siya with the health. Scaling HP for his champion, pero when you're going against an AD champion, it's not a good idea na wala kang armor dito unless you're using a super tanky champion sa laban ninyo.
Well, we'll have to see how it turns out. Alright, so last thing we want to probably take a look before the timeout, we still have 1 minute, is the Evelyn. With those rune changes, this is decided to go still for the same armor runes. Yes, they're still using the same armor runes, still the yellow seals, not transitioning, because of course the 5 AP from the Queens are still very vital for Evelyn. But instead of going for AD runes, which most pro players decided to go for the magic, the hybrid runes for on that Evelyn. And of course in the masteries, still the same build as well. Very aggressive Evelyn. Gonna be really exciting to see how this game turns out.
Let's see kung ano mangyayari dito mga kaibigan. Looking at the lineup, we have for Team MSI EvoGT, they have Irelia, they have Shyvana, they have Lulu, they have Tristana and Morgana. They have once again a lot of crowd control for their team. They have they have Shyvana for the knock-up skill once again. Wild growth from Lulu as well. So if ever na mag-initiate ito si Shyvana, they have the followed up shield from their team. They have the dark shield from Morgana. They have the help me picks from Lulu, and they have the wild growth from his champion as well. For Team of Pacific mga kaibigan, we're looking at their champion. Kailangan mag-build dito ng tanky item si Evelyn instead of getting the item like more on damage output champion. Usually si a champion na si Evelyn talagang bumubuo ng tanky items dito kasi siya yung champion na talagang mag-initiate ng team fight. Sobrang kailangan niyang dumikit sa kanyang kalaban to make sure na meron siyang enough damage output during team fight dito.
Alright, so the game is now loading now. Of course, I'm looking at all these challenger players with awesome skills here. So since we're waiting for it to load, I would really like to buy some of those skins for myself. So what can we do if we want to buy some load and we don't have time to go out and buy load from the store? So
if ever na gusto mong bumili ng skin, tinatamad ka lang basta ng bahay mo, wala ka pang, hindi ka grounded ka kasi sobrang tagal mo na maglalaro ng League of Legends. Siyempre, ito lang gagawin mo. Just visit epins.gmx.ph, then choose the game you are playing. After mo piliin yung League of Legends, choose the national denomination you want. Gusto mo ng 50, 100, 500, depende sa'yo kung anong skin ang gusto mong bilhin. Dapat syempre may load ka. Click add to cart after nun. And then after mo click yung add to cart, enter your mobile number. Take note mga kaibigan, para lamang to sa Sun, Smart, and TNT subscribers natin.
Yeah.
Ngayon, after mo ilagay yung mobile number mo, you will receive the confirmation code. Send it to 3161. And after mo isa sa 3161, marireceive mo na yung ipin amount na kailangan.
Yes. Make sure
thank you very
check
much,
everything properly, especially selecting the game you want. League of Legends yan. Very important yan. Mamaya makuha mo yung loot sa ibang game and hindi nyo magagamit sa League of Legends, of course. So, alright, so the game is already about to start. We're just waiting. We have, of course, our mandatory pause where the players are allowed to adjust their settings before the game starts, making sure that all their hotkeys are properly assigned here. And this is going to be the game 2 between Team Pacific and MSI. MSI winning the first game. If MSI wins this game, they will proceed to join the rest of the pro teams in
Welcome back mga kaibigan to the Summoner's Rift. Teleport kagad for Morgana dito or for Carl trying to do some invade against 3 members of MSI EvoGT. Sobrang interesting tong ganitong klase na strategy just to put that vision ward, side ward for their team. You have to use the teleport for his champion. So in the bottom lane, Team Pacific somehow have the advantage dito knowing na merong teleport si Carl to respond in the other lanes. Pero wala siyang heal, wala siyang exhaust dito. Carl doing a lot of damage against 2 champion of Team MSI, Pacific dito. A spear attempt from Daiso was missed out for Carl dito, and They are not aware na nandito ngayon ng Team MSI EvoGT. They are not aware na nag-try sila mag-invade in this division of Team MSI EvoGT, mga kaibigan. Lumabas na itong 4 members of Team MSI EvoGT trying to gank Daisowa. Carl chasing the CUT. Napaganda paggamit dito ng skill from CUT dito. He got caught with that dark binding from Carl dito, but they have disengaged. 3 champion of Team MSI, Pacific got caught with that glitter lance from Oni. Successful disengage for their team, and they have to recall to generate their HP na nawala kanina.
That was really good effort coming from MSI trying to make a really big play at level 1. But actually, Team Pacific being also pretty good veterans or high challenger players, knowing that these kinds of tricks, were able to avoid any painful first bloods or death there. So of course the flash coming from burnout of Trundle, so this is a slight advantage for Irelia here in the top lane, knowing that Trundle's flash will be down for the next few minutes here in the game as we proceed. Looks like there will not be any lane swaps this game. Morgana and Tristana will be heading down south. Same will be Lucian with Leona. In the top lane, of course, we'll have Irelia facing off with Trundle and Nidalee and Lulu in the mid lane. So yes, welcome back Lulu to the mid lane. And it's been also a while since we've seen a Nidalee in the mid lane. So this is really exciting. Medyo excited na lang talaga ako makita kung sino mananalo dito sa game na to. Hopefully, both teams will play their best para medyo maging exciting tong game na to. And Evelyn will be starting at her blue buff in this game. While right now, of course, we're experiencing probably some technical difficulties while a pause is happening here into this game. The blue buff and the golems will be spawning in about 4 seconds from now. Nidalee will be able to throw down a spear just in time to give Evelyn some help here. While on the other side, it looks like Lulu might be a little bit delayed in helping Shyvana pick up his blue buff for himself.
Yes, we are back to the game, mga kaibigan. Welcome to the Summoner's Rift once again. Match Team MSI EvoGT versus Team ng Pacific. Second game, 1-0 ahead. 1 win ahead ng team ng MSI EvoGT ngayon sa laban nila against team ng Pacific. Wonder what is happening. Nakakarami na tayo ng post ngayon. And I think meron connection problem na naman ang team ng Pacific dito. Well, let's see kung ano mangyayari maya-maya lamang, mga kaibigan. In the top lane, si Yute against kay Irelia or itong si George. Who do you think will dominate the top lane dito?
Well, Irelia I feel would be more powerful at the early levels, but Irelia, depending on the build of Irelia, whether if she goes full tanky or she goes for something like a Witch End or Blade of the Ruinkin build, could potentially be a lot more scarier than Trundle at the early levels. Of course, Trundle, another questionable build would be if whether they go for the Blade of the Ruin King as well. So it's really hard to say who will be winning at the top lane, since both of them have a lot of tricks up their sleeves and are very tanky at the same time. So most likely junglers will possibly provide a big impact in the top lane. Irelia actually seems to be ahead in terms of CS right now, kind of bowling out Trundle in the lane. So to answer your questions, like you said, Trundle has no armor runes, so this gives Trundle
lugi siya when it comes to the trading of their normal hits dito against Irelia.
Yes.
So wala nga siyang armor runes. Medyo nag-rely siya sa kanyang HP. Even though he have around 700 HP, papansin mo, Irelia have 775 HP as well. And when you have a scaling rules dito, nakadepende talaga yung champion mo sa late game at hindi sa early game. So ang gagawin niya dito, si Yute have to focus sa kanyang CS na masigurado niya na meron siyang advantage dito. Enough to farm from his champion para ma-secure niya na yung kanyang late game potential dito ay may utilize niya na maayos. A gank from Dowmington, mga kaibigan. Napaganda pag-celebrate from Machipay. Pero just in time for Carl dito, he have to use that dark binding. Very good job for the team.
Yes, Leon has to be very careful here. His HP down to about less than 300 HP, of course, using that pot to heal back a lot of that HP that he lost because of that early tower dive. Morgana landing the dark bindings, trapping Leona under that turret. So luckily, the dark binding was not long enough to keep Leona there to pick up first blood. Right now, the bottom lane of Team Pacific are the aggressors, while the top lane of MSI is the aggressor on Irelia. So looking at the CS here, looks like Trundle did a really good job of farming those minions onto the tower.
Dowmington attempt ganking the mid lane, mga kaibigan. Daisowa have to use that spear dito. Little as from Oni, have to disengage. One more hit. Just in time, mga kaibigan, pero dinamit niya ngayon. Napagandang pag-sidestep for his champion, and he somehow managed to pick up a kill in the mid lane. What a turnaround for his champion. Very good job for Oni dito sa laban nila.
Yes, actually, That was a really good job coming from Lulu, avoiding that Spear of Death.
Yes!
And sidestepping it on
Kung
perfect
tinamaan siya ng
timing.
spear na yun, sigurado
And then follow-up
Pacific have
flash,
advantage.
baiting the Evelyn under the tower and picking up double buffs for himself. This is really huge for Lulu here, picking up the chalice and the double buff. Will have unlimited mana for the next 4 minutes against Nidalee. Nidalee, of course, not a very strong laner, will struggle a lot against Lulu with the next few
Yes,
minutes.
kita-kita natin ngayon ang difference si CUT, Trundle versus Irelia. Trundle na walang armor, na merong scaling HP for his champion. Irelia somehow have the advantage in the top lane, pero dahil mas maraming minions si CUT, is taking a lot of damage as well.
Yes, alright, so we're back now here in the bottom lane. As you can see here, Leona and Lucian are dominating here in the bottom lane, but they have to be careful.
Here comes the gank from Coops in the bottom lane, mga kaibigan. Zenith from watching, they connected very well. Evelyn just in time, have to initiate as well in the bottom lane, mga kaibigan. Napakagandang pag-trade dito, flash out from Shyvana, and it's a 0-for-1 score pa rin ngayon in favor of team ng MSI EvoGT. Carl have to disengage in the bottom lane, have to recall. At kitang-kita natin ngayon yung difference na nangyayari between Daisowas and Oni dahil sa nakuha niyang red and blue buff sa kanyang champion.
That's right. So Trundle has gone back to base and picked up a Vampiric Scepter now, giving him a little bit better sustain in the lane. And of course, his flash is almost up, so he should be safe now for the next few minutes, even if Evelyn decides to gank here. Of course, Evelyn looks like wants to take back the double buff
Oni
here.
dito with the, meron siyang level 6 skill, meron na siyang wild growth, he can survive a team fight, mga kaibigan. Hindi tumama kanyang glitter lance. An initiation from Wachibe in the bottom lane, mga kaibigan, have this Zenith Blade, but with the use of Dark Shield, Spell Shield from Carl dito, Tristana survived that team fight in the bottom lane.
Alright, so here in top lane, Irelia burning actually his ultimate just to clear the minion wave. This is actually a surprising move. I think he's gonna go back to base to buy. Yes, he will be burning up all his ultimate and his mana. The cooldown of Transcendence Blades on Irelia is really short, so this allows him to, when he gets back to the his ultimate will be pretty up or almost up by the time he gets back, so he should have no problem in dealing with Trundle when he gets back. So
actually, the bottom lane, sobrang nagiging aggressive ngayon si VYY and Wachife, trying their best to kill Tristana, either Tristana or Morgana, pero kita-kita natin sa CS na napakalaki ng kanilang difference ngayon. Around 20 CS difference in favor of Lucian. And actually, napaka-effective na ginagawa nila pagiging aggressive dito.
yes,
Even though hindi sila nakakuha ng kill, nakikita mo yung pressure dito for team na MSI EvoGT in the bottom lane. They can't get enough farm for their champion to make sure na meron silang item in the late game.
and actually, just a second ago, both Lucian and Leona were ahead in level, but kaka level 5 lang nung Tristana. But you can see here, Morgana is still level 4, but she should be leveling 5 very soon. And I feel like Lucian and Leona might hit level 6 pretty soon
Grabe
as
burst
well.
damage from Lulu in the mid lane. And this is it, CUT against MSI EvoGT Jord. Kapag mabot siya ng level 6, I think dito mo lang makikita na may utilize yung kanyang effectiveness. Without that armor rules dito, mga kaibigan. Coops, mukhang medyo hindi siya naging aware na nandun si Leona. But they somehow managed to get the Vision Ward for a team of Pacific in the bottom lane.
Alright, so looks like 3-man push coming from MSI. Shyvana trying to help the bottom lane of Tristana here, and then Morgana. The top lane, pretty much a dead even fight right now. As you can see here, both champions with very high sustain here, but Trundle winning the fight now, forcing Irelia to back away here, especially with his ultimate and subjugate, allowing him to steal away the armor from Irelia here. Irelia, of course, will be jumping around, stunning Trundle.
Yes,
Oh my
George
God.
versus CU taking the top lane. George taking a lot of damage. You have to use that skill to disengage in the top lane dito. Alam mo kapag umabot ng level 6 itong si Trundle, sobrang makikita may effectiveness niya. Hindi niya kayang sustain yung damage output from any champion dito. And ito na ang responde from Oni. CU taking a lot of damage. MSI EvoGT Carl have to use that flash in to make sure na kaya nila kunin ang buhay ni CUT. But with that movement speed flash in from Oni dito, one more hit mga kaibigan for CUT and he goes down. One kill for team members of MSI EvoGT, but Pacific got the chance to get the first Dragon Kiss game.
Yeah, so good move actually from Trundle, actually stalling or forcing MSI to do a nice boost chase in the top lane, and this allows them to do a free dragon here. Of course, now immediately baiting Shyvana into the dragon pit with or awesome seems there. A pickup for Lucian, another kill, and now 1-2 in favor of MSI here, but looks like hindi pa tapos ang Pacific here. They want to pick up another kill. 3 members really low in HP, very dangerous position where they are right now, and if Lulu's able to catch somebody here, looks like there we go. Force flash coming from Leona there, and looks like the Team Pacific will get away with that. So now the goal lead is still with Pacific because of the dragon there, giving them a 700 gold lead over Team MSI. Now Lulu,
not a good choice for Shyvana or MSI EvoGT Coops to initiate that team fight kanina. I think he's not aware na merong dragon fight for Team of Pacific. And not only nakuha ng Team Pacific dito ang first dragon, but they managed to pick up another kill for their team. Into, so far ngayon, 1-2 ang ating score in favor pa rin sa team of Pacific. I mean, ang ating score, ating goal difference ay naka-favor ngayon sa team ng MSI EvoGT. But with that first dragon for Team Pacific, hindi ganun kalaki yung kanilang goal difference.
Alright, so a ward being cleared out by MSI here behind the red buff. Irelia baiting Trundle into fight. I think Trundle might have spotted the Shyvana there since he decided to disengage from that fight there. A nice blade landing on Tristana there coming from Leona. Looks like they will not continue to pursue this Tristana. Irelia getting aggressive on the Trundle, laying down his pillar or his trophy there. A stun, of course, that's Black Shield preventing any stun coming from Leona there. And everybody's attempts basically failed in that last minute there, so no kills are gonna be picked up by either team.
So far ang ating score ay 1-2 pa rin. Domington trying to gank at the bottom lane, and they have to disengage once again. MSI EvoGT trying their best to push the first searcher in the top lane, pero nandito si Daisowas, and subukan niya mag-respond din dito, trying to help his comrade na ma-push yung first searcher or ma-defend yung first searcher sa laban na to.
Yes, alright, so back in the bottom lane, looks like Lucian and Leona are continuing to dominate here in the bottom lane. As you see here, the CS is pretty huge.
Domington, mga kaibigan, taking a lot of damage against MSI EvoGT on in the mid lane. It's forced to use that ultimate skill para mapag-disengage.
Yes, alright, so like I said, CS advantage of Lucian is very huge right now. More than 40 CS advantage plus the pressure that Leona and Lucian are providing is just incredible. Looks like they will be picking up the first third of the game. I'm surprised Lucian decided to use the ultimate right away, clear the minion, and will decide to back away there. Shyvana spotting out Nidalee going very aggressive, decided not to follow up there surprisingly, since Lulu is just nearby and Irelia is starting to lose the top lane. So to answer your question, GG Spear, regarding the matchup, it looks like Irelia has Trundle has the upper hand over Irelia here in the top lane.
Yes, nakikita natin ngayon yung difference nila. At even though walang armor dito si Silute sa kanyang runes, mukhang na-compensate niya ng maayos dito at kaya niya sabayan in the top lane si George. I think yung base armor na meron siya is enough to secure disadvantage in the top lane dito. At since meron siyang level 6 skill, ito yung nagbibigay sa kanya ng advantage na makipagsabayan dito against Irelia in the top lane. And mapapansin mo, even though sobrang hirap na hirap dito si Irelia in the top lane against kay Trundle, ginagawa lang niya Irelia ay kumukuha ng enough farm for his champion. At ito yung ginagawa niya. After na makuha ng enough farm for his champion, sinusubukan niya umabot ng lead team sa laban na to.
Alright, so back in the mid lane, Lulu a 10 CS advantage over over Nidalee here, and 3 members of Team Pacific are grouping up here to pick up the middle third. The middle third down to about half HP right now. Morgan deciding to join in with Lulu here. Dark Binding not landing on any members of Team Pacific here. Of course, you see there Nidalee healing again, Lucian once again. Pretty passive in both of the lanes here right now. Trundle still trying to bully out Irelia. Morgana flashing in and using the
initiation from Carl dito. He got VYY goes down. Kubus chasing down 2 members of Team Pacific dito. Watching it, taking a lot of damage. Nice clear from Daisowas. What a turnaround for their team. Solar Flare from Watching. He was exhausted and he's taking a lot of damage once again, mga kaibigan. A good Dark Binding from Morgana dito, and they somehow managed to pick up another kill. It's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Team Pacific.
Yeah, Oni doing really well so far in this game. As you can see here, 3-0-1, picking up another kill nearly through that ignite, sidestepping most of those needle spears coming from Daisoas here, and Daisoas will try to take down the third. I don't think he has enough damage yet to take it down. Let's see if he can make it. Looks like he will heal himself, and yes, he actually does take down the middle third for Team Pacific here. The Team Pacific now in the lead, or I'm sorry, or have now even up the third pushes for both teams. Alright, so both the only first third standing for both teams now are the top laters, since Irelia and Trundle, like I said again, are pretty much dead even here in the top lane. So I think Irelia is trying to rush a Trinity Force, but since she's not ahead, I don't really think this is the wisest choice for him. And Trundle building into those right items, looks like he will build into a Raduins, and of course a Blade of the Ruin King, which is the perfect build for Trundle in almost any game. Alright, so here we see now Nidalee trying to throw out those spears and try to poke down Lulu without much success. Lulu will decide to roam here into the bottom lane. Of course, Morgana will be joining him. The dragon is already up. Both VOY and Wachipe has to be very careful here. A stun onto
This is my
Shyvana.
bottom lane. Coops have, a good wide growth from Oni dito. Team Pacific taking a lot of damage. One champion goes down. Daisoas have this flash in, and he's chasing the 3 champion of team members of MSI EvoGT, because one champion goes down once again. It's a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Team Pacific. What a turnaround for their team. Nice teleport from the top lane of Team Pacific and MSI EvoGT. It's a 2-for-3 in total, but they're still chasing MSI EvoGT. George was forced to use that flash out Dark Binding skill from Morgana dito. And
One
more hit mga kaibigan. Still have that red buff. Damington have to use his double skill para ma-chase down to George.
Good job
But
from
not
Carl.
enough
Yes.
good job for Carl dito using that Dark Binding skill.
Yeah, Carl protecting Irelia. Irelia was basically one hit away from going down there, and looks like instead of MSI picking up the dragon, it will go Team Pacific unless Morgana can do some miracle steal, which I highly doubt here since the jungler is present on Team Pacific here. Shyvana and Morgana, of course, is being joined by Tristana here to stop the push coming from, or the dragon steal being done a while ago. So alright, so back into the game right now. We can see here that Nidalee will continue to farm here in the mid lane. Still kind of behind its CS with Lulu, but not by much here. The biggest CS advantage is really the Lucian over the Tristana, with 150 CS over 96 to Tristana. So
This point of time, 5-6 ang ating score, pero ang ating goal difference ay in favor sa team ng Pacific. And I think ang mga reason kung bakit ganito kalaki yung ating goal difference ngayon ay because of the assist na meron sila. Every time na nagkakaroon ng team fight, sama-sama sila lahat. And every time na nagkakaroon sila ng chance to dominate the team fight, yung mga responde na meron sa kanilang team, kumpleto sila dito. And they got the first dragon, if not mistaken, sa laban nila. So, ngayon, we are looking at the difference between Team Pacific and Team MSI EvoGT. Kailangan nila makabawi ngayon sa laban nila. Kanina nanalo ang team ng MSI EvoGT sa late game. Or sa pag-execute ng maayos na kanilang mga skills dito. So, nahirapan na ma-secure ng Team Pacific ang kanilang winning advantage during that game. Kasi nga, sa contribution na nagawa dito ni George using Malphite in the early part of the game.
yes, alright. So it looks like looking at the top lane, Irena trying to bait a fight here. A stun coming from looks like they're chasing down Trundle here. Trundle being so tanky, gets away safely, even lays down his nice trophy just for show and not allowing Team MSI to pick up a kill. Right, looks like the rest of Team Pacific will be joining Trundle here in the
George
top lane.
mga kaibigan, taking a lot of damage against the members of Pacific. Domington still chasing on one champion with that spear coming from Daisoas. He somehow managed to pick up another kill for their team, chasing the 2 champions of Team MSI EvoGT mga kaibigan. This is it, 5 members once again for their team. They're getting the first kill to the top lane. One more kill mga kaibigan. MSI EvoGT, Coops goes down. It's a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Team Pacific. Very good job for your team. Nice coordination and good response for the team.
Alright, so similar to game 1, Team Pacific is now slowly but surely building a lead. Let's see if they can hold on to their lead this time around. A while ago, MSI was able to turn around the game and win that game. So at the current rate, as long as Pacific can continue their plays right now, they should have this game in the bag. But MSI, like we saw a while ago, are pretty confident in their team fighting ability, and because of that, this should allow them to get back into this game if MSI does continue to pull ahead in the next few minutes. Alright, so looking in the bottom lane, Trundle has decided to switch lanes here.
Downington chasing those dito, was forced to hit that flash out, and a rocket jump as well, and they're not trying to push themselves to get one kill for the champion. Medyo play safe sila sa nangyaring laban to. Mga kaibigan, only taking a lot of damage against two members of Team Pacific dito. Then they missed out from watching play. One more hit, mga kaibigan. Use of that call from Lucian dito. VYY. Coops got exhausted by watching play dito. Soul Shackles from Card. Two champion got caught. That Soul Shackles. Downington, mga kaibigan. MSI GT Zack managed to pick up another kill, mga kaibigan. Sobrang ganda na positioning niya dito. He is chasing Downington. Downington goes down. 4-4 na decision in favor of their team. They're chasing down CUT. I don't think the people hindi nilang i-kill itong si CUT. Being a very tanky champion sa laban na to. But they're chasing CUT. CUT taking a lot of damage. Coops is about to go down. But the flash out for his champion. It's an ace for their team. It's a turnaround for their team. Instant bawi para sa kanila dito.
Yes, big plays coming from MSI. They're picking up an ace and a tower in the mid lane. This is a huge advantage now to MSI. Let's see what MSI will do with this lead now.
Very good job
they
for
were
Tristana.
behind in kills and now they're ahead. Even in gold, they were way behind a while ago and now the gold is dead even. With the tower pickup and that ace coming just now. Of course, that was a delayed ace there. But nonetheless, Team Pacific and the game is basically resets back to the start, except they're starting at 11, 11, and 12 here. And the next big play will probably determine the movement of the game. Whether will MSI now push to lead, or will Pacific get back into their game and try to win this game for them
Can we
to
look
come
at the
back?
replay? Do we have the replay for that team fight na nangyari kanina, or it's a very good job for the team? And
Alright,
team
so
fight na nangyari
anyway,
kanina, Jay, I think the reason why nanalo ang team ng yes, let's see yung ating replay kanina.
alright, so as you can see here, Morgana will go in and use her Dark Binding spell onto 3 champions, and Sun, they were able to burst down 1 champion instantly. There we see Leona going down right away through Jusana here, and Irelia being very, very tanky, picks up 1 kill against 2 champions, of course. The rest of MSI follow up.
To target that time. Hindi nila alam kung sinong unahin nila, at hindi nila alam kung sino dapat papatayin nila. Nung time na medyo na-missed out. I mean, napilita kasi mag-flash out dito si Lucian with the Dark Bind, I mean the Soul Shackles coming from Morgana, and they managed to pick up another kill, at eto nabigay sa kanila ng advantage. Also yung healthy picks from Lulu kanina gave Tristana the advantage of using his poke skill, I mean poke normal hit against your opponent, and they won that team fight. Very good job for team na MSI EvoGT. What a turnaround for their team.
That's right. Alright, so we're actually looking at the top lane once again. CS is about 10 C's advantage for Trundle here. Of course, Irelia has finally completed her Trinity Force and has already built up a giant belt. MSI will be trying to still take this Baron for themselves. Let's see if they'll be able to successfully take this Dragon for themselves. Last time, they were thwarted by Team Pacific and stolen away. A nice spear landing onto Lulu, going down, taking about a third of her health away, and another spear going to Morgana. Ang hapdi na ng mga spears ni Nidalee here, and Trundle trying to bully here Irelia in the top lane, but without much luck so far. Lulu has to be very careful now, and engage coming from Evelyn here.
Mga kaibigan, taking a lot of damage, pero napakaganda pag Solar Flare from Watching Fate. They somehow managed to pick up another kill for their team. 1-4 non-exchange in favor of the Pacific, and they're getting second tier sa laban na to in the mid lane.
Yes, alright, so it looks like a teleport coming into Irelia. Irelia trying to join the team fight. Shyvana diving in here, stunned by Leona. Another teleport, Trundle joining the party as well, a trophy. Nah, I don't think in the best place. We could have positioned a little bit better there, but they're trying to siege his tower, and Nidalee will be throwing out those spears to lower the HP bars of the members. A nice engage from
Initiation
Leona.
from Watching Fate, mga kaibigan. George was about to go down, but they somehow managed to disengage sa laban na to. They're getting the third tier in the mid lane. still Oni trying to catch up sa mid lane dito. Tinamaan siya ng trophy coming from CUT and they're getting the inhibitor in the mid lane.
Yes, Team Pacific seems like they're into some really serious business right now. They're doing everything they can to win this game. Engaging and engaging there. A nice kill pickup for Team MSI, Pacific and MSI there. Team Pacific now trying to escape the wrath of the rest of MSI there. Lulu in a little bit of trouble there. A nice dark binding from Morgana stopping Lulu from chasing down Lulu there. I can see Lulu with only about less than 80 HP there right now and will get away because of the dark binding again from Morgana. So good job coming from Morgana or from MSI EvoGT Carl there, and even the HPs of Team Pacific are quite low, so going back to base is definitely a best decision coming from the best decision they could do right now. I expect a Baron dance to happen not too long from now. Of course, there's still a few objectives they can pick up there. There's still a few second tier turrets still standing for both teams, but with the exposed inhibitor on, this is actually very similar to what happened a while ago. Team Pacific had their inhibitor exposed, and this allowed them to basically bully Team Pacific in the game. So let's see if MSI can do, or Team Pacific rather, can do the exact same thing that MSI did to them a while ago.
Ito yung magandang performance coming from Team na Pacific. They're, as much as possible, they're trying their best to secure their objective. Hindi sila nag-hesitate na gawin yung kanilang objective of getting the turret, getting the inhibitors. Kanina in the mid, napapansin mo, kita-kita nila na hiwalay-wala yung team ng MSI EvoGT dito, and they grab the chance to get the third tier turret in the mid lane, also the inhibitor as well. So ito yung nangyayari in the mid lane of team ng Pacific. MSI EvoGT can't defend the mid lane because wala na kanina si Oni in the team fight. And ang gagawin ngayon ng team ng Pacific, they have to make sure na meron muna silang isang champion for team for MSI ang makuha. And this is it, mga kaibigan, NSJ or VYY got caught with that dark binding from MSI EvoGT. Carl have to use that soul shackles as well. Tinamana naman dark binding, mga kaibigan, si Daumington taking a lot of damage against the two members with the last hit coming from Oni. Use of that glitter lance, they're chasing down CUT goes down. 3-4 na exchange in favor of team ng MSI EvoGT. Napakaganda pag-turn for their team. Watch if it goes down as well. It's a 4-4 non-exchange in total sa laban na to. And I think they're about to get the first turret in the top lane against team ng Pacific.
Yeah, so MSI looks like we'll be able to get this Baron. Actually, Nidalee is still alive, so she could probably still pick up a few kills if she's lucky. Irelia stunning Nidalee, just making sure that she can't steal away this Baron away from them. Yes, the Baron will be there. Lulu providing some more cover for the rest of the team. Now, Nidalee trying to run away from the Lulu. Looks like the rest of MSI will be going back to base to heal up and pick up a few items with that gold they acquired from that Baron. And this is definitely a big turnaround for Team MSI. This Baron buff definitely will prevent Pacific from closing out the game. Now, there's a huge minion wave there in the base. Of course, they're all going back to base, so they should be able to stop this with no problem. They've got a lot of damage even on their tanker, so this game is far from over, I think, right now. So as long as nobody gets caught, especially the carries, which are the AD carries and the AP carry, then this game will probably last another 10 to 15 minutes at least, depending on how they play out the rest of this game.
Sa point of time, 10-16 ang ating score, pero ang ating goal difference ay makita natin na advantage na ngayon ng Team MSI EvoGT ang nangyari. They got the first Baron of this game. They also got the turnaround, turnaround the table yung laban kanina, yung last clash na nangyari. Unfortunately, Team Pacific having a hard time to secure their objectives ngayon. And medyo napipilitan silang i-push yung mga turret dito without thinking na yung team ng MSI EvoGT ay may chance to redeem themselves sa mga team fight na nangyari. Even though they got one champion from Team MSI EvoGT, ang laki na nag-trade nila dito. Nagiging 1-4-3, nagiging 1-4-4 exchange dito. And worse, they got the Baron.
Yeah. Alright, so Irelia farming up. Actually, the CS in the top lane has been pretty close all throughout the game. Irelia also having the Radiance open now, same as the Trundle. Trundle, I think, is gonna probably build either a Banshee's Veil or a Spirit Visage to give him a lot more sustain here in the top lane, while Irelia also probably the same thing, either a Spirit Visage or a Banshee's Veil to be a little bit more tanky, especially against those AP. Probably a Banshee's Veil for Irelia, especially since there's a Nidalee with that heavy poke, and of course, looks like Pacific will be able to pick up a Dragon. for themselves. So this is really good for them. Nidalee was trying to jump over the wall again, not making it. Looks like he can't find that part in the wall.
He can.
He's trying to find that spot in the wall where he could jump over, but no, he wasn't successful there. Alright, so a trap of Nidalee spotting out Morgana there, and Irelia will continue to farm, try to push the top lane. The first turn is still up for them. Looks like Trundle getting surrounded by the entire MSI EvoGT.
Yes.
Oh my god, looks like Trundle in a little bit of trouble here.
He have to use an ultimate skill. And CUT left behind by the team members of Pacific. Dragon 4 from Coops dito is chasing down 3 members of Team Pacific. And this is initiation from George. Napakaganda paggamit ng Solar Flare dito. 2 champion of Team MSI EvoGT. Nahuli doon. A damage output coming from VYY. Exhausted si Zack dito. He have to use the rocket jump para maka-disengage. He was exhausted. Damington still chasing down the 3 members of Team MSI EvoGT dito. Wala silang nakuha. Wala nakuha ang team ng MSI EvoGT sa nangyaring yon. But Team Pacific managed to pick up 1 kill for their team.
Alright, like you said, the game is like far from over, and MSI was very aggressive there. They were trying to trap the Trundle underneath his turret. He actually realized that and backed away, and luckily he did get away and they were able to pick up a kill on Carl. But of course, nonetheless, they were MSI was still able to pick up the third, so not exactly a fair trade, but I think MSI would be happy with that pickup. Their inhibitor has already been spawned, so I expect Team Pacific to probably try to push the mid lane now and take out that inhibitor once again, so that the next time Baron appears, which would be not too long, actually it's still pretty long from now since they still have their Baron buffs up. So we'll have to see what Team Pacific will do right now. They need to take another objective, probably another third, and at least probably take down that mid inhibitor down, especially since there's no third to defend it. It's very exposed to Team Pacific, and MSI will have a hard time defending it, even though they have really two tanky champions right now.
Team Pacific have to do something sa performance na nangyayari sa kanila. Even though ginagawa nila ng paraan na makabawi sa mga team fight na nangyayari in the later part of the game, kailangan nila ipagpatuloy yung advantage nila eh. Makikita mo yung difference dito. They have to give enough poke damage against team na MSI EvoGT bago mag-initiate sa team fight. At kapag meron silang enough damage to secure their objective of killing a champion from team MSI EvoGT, kaya nilang manalo sa team fight. Pero kapag nag-engage agad sila nang wala pang, lahat ng team ng MSI EvoGT dito ay puno pa ang kanilang mga HP, I don't think they can kill a champion dito against team ng MSI EvoGT. They have the support coming from Morgana, they have the shield coming from Lulu as well. So ito papahirap sa kanila. Kailangan nila i-secure yung kanilang objective of blowing the opponent first before initiating the team fight. They have Leona, they have Nidalee, they have Lucian, they have Evelyn, they have Trundle. Yeah. So meron silang damage taker sa laban na to. They have Trundle na kaya saluhin lahat ng damage output from team MSI EvoGT. So ngayon, both a champion in the top lane trying to push his turret, the top turret, trying to defend the turret, the second turret in the top lane dito, since pareho silang merong mga teleport summoner spell.
Yes, actually both, like you said, yung dalawang teleport spells nila are already actually up, so as soon as a team fight erupts, definitely magte-teleport na yung dalawang yun sa team fight. Most likely here in the bottom lane, Shyvana and Evelyn spotting each other out.
Taking a lot of damage mga kaibigan against Coops dito. Coops got stunned by Watchy Faye in the bottom lane. Pero di pa rin napipilitang gumamit ng mga teleport dito ang ating mga top laners, at if ever na kung sino yung nagkaroon ng chance, yung magandang timing sa pag-drop, pag-gas ng kanilang mga teleport summoner spell, ito sila yung makakuha ng advantage. 46 seconds mga kaibigan bago mabuhay ang ating Baron, and 1 minute and 50 seconds left for the Dragon to respond.
Yes, actually Shyvana has just upgraded her Feral Flare. She already has 2 stacks in her Feral Flare. Nidalee joining Trundle here. Irelia looks like it's in a little bit of trouble here, trying to chase down the Nidalee. Let's see, a flash, yes, that will be able to save the life of Irelia there, and Irelia will back away without any problems. Team Pacific didn't really do much with their last Baron buff right now. As you can see here, the inhibitor is still up here. Evelyn spotting out a pink ward. Of course, those pink wards will be able to catch sight of her. They're placing down some wards on Baron, since Baron will be up in 3 seconds.
Nawalasan nila yung Baron. So, buhay na ang ating Baron for this game. This is second Baron of this game. So, kung sino man ang makakuha nito, will have the advantage getting that Baron buff for their team. And 11-16 ang ating score. Goal difference in favor sa team ng MSI EvoGT. Nakakagulat yung pagbabago na ginawa. I mean, nakakagulat yung turnaround din ng mga teamfight na nangyari kanina. So it's all about the execution of skills once again. For team ng team ng Pacific, they have to make sure na meron silang enough damage against their opponent bago sila mag-initiate sa teamfight.
Alright, I feel like MSI is just baiting the Baron again, just like in the last game.
Aray ko po
Wow,
mga kaibigan.
kalahati ng buhay.
Lampas kalahati ng kanyang HP na wala doon. That one spear alone from Nidalee.
So basically, 2 spears from Nidalee would definitely take down the HP of Tristana if he can land it at almost maximum range there. So Evelyn again trying to clear out that pink ward in a very dangerous position. Luckily, nobody decided to engage her. There's actually a trap and ward dito sa gitna middle lane here, and both carries of Team Pacific are in the mid lane. They have to be very careful, especially against the Irelia. Morgana laying down a ward there, trying to provide some vision on this Trundle here in the top lane. Trundle will have the freedom to push here, and I don't think Morgana should be there. She should be joining her team since she will provide a lot of crowd control for the team. It should be Irelia there defending.
It's not a good idea for Team MSI EvoGT to attempt this Baron since Team Pacific have so much poke damage for their team. They have Nidalee, they have champions like Lucian as well. So CUT managed to pick up the second tier in the bottom lane, and he's pushing that lane dito. Meron pa siyang teleport skill. So meron pa siyang teleport summon spell. So if ever na magkaroon ng team fight, he can respawn in the mid lane or any lanes dito na magkakaroon ng laban between Team MSI EvoGT and Team Pacific. Buhay na ang ating Baron, buhay na ang ating Dragon. Depende sa kanila kung anong kukunin nila dito. MSI EvoGT decided to get that Dragon.
Yes.
Team Pacific decided to get the Baron dito. So will they be able to get this Baron, or mahirapan sila na kunin yung Baron dito?
We'll see right now. Pacific definitely needs this Baron, but looks like MSI will be joining the party.
Daumington used that flash in solar flare from Leona dito. What a good exchange for their team. MSI EvoGT taking a lot of damage, and it goes down. Very good job for Team Pacific dito. Oni is about to go down. Lahat ng buhay ng Team MSI EvoGT ay namamaga. They have to disengage sa laban na to. And just for Team Pacific to get the second Baron of this game.
Yes, I think Pacific will pick up the Baron. This is actually their opportunity to finally close out this game if they're able to successfully pick up this Baron. Yes, I don't think anybody from MSI is near enough to do anything. They're actually putting down some more wards because they're afraid that there might be a member of Team Pacific nearby, but no, there won't be. So they will be going back to base. They're gonna pick up a few items and probably try to push for the win now, since the inhibitor, like I said, has been exposed for the past few minutes, not being contested by Team Pacific. They have the Baron buff, and of course they will have the chance to push down a few towers at the same time.
Very good job for Team Pacific in that team. Team ng MSI tama, Pacific sa nangyaring yun. They got the second Baron of this game. 12-16 ang ating score, at unti-unti sila nakakahabol sa goal difference na nangyari at na malayo kanina in favor team ng MSI EvoGT. Ngayon, around 1.2k na lang ang ating goal difference, na kanina ay halos 4k to 3k goal difference.
That's right. So it's actually about 1.3k advantage for MSI right now, even though they're behind in third tier. The Pacific's actually ahead by 2 turrets, and MSI is now winning in terms of player kills right now. Majority of those kills are going to the Irelia and the Lulu. Tristana not doing so bad, going 3, 1, and 6. And it's pretty similar for the other side. It's also the Trundle, the Lulu, and the Tristana picking up most of the kills. Basically, the junglers aren't picking up any kills for themselves, picking up a lot of assists for each team. So they're just basically doing their job as the initiators and allowing their team to collapse on the members of the opposing team. Alright, so we got a 4-man strong push from Team Pacific here. They have to be careful not to get collapsed on from behind. You can see here, there's one Irelia, or Trundle is going. Irelia was there, but Trundle spotted him out. Irelia just walks away. They have to take out this inhibitor. Trundle is definitely very tanky, but
This is going to be the deciding clash, mga kaibigan. If ever na kung sino manalo sa laban na to, they will gain that.
Oh!
Napaganda pag-spear from Daiso as Tinak just saw it coming. Hindi niya nakita na magkaroon may spear na magagaling dito.
It's a big opportunity for
Sobrang nagulat
Pacific.
siya.
The AD carry is gone. They can end this game right now if they play this smart.
Aray ko po mga kaibigan, from Daisoas, with that item, looking at this champion, mga kaibigan, 544 AP for Eden alone.
There's only one Nexus third of MSI is left to put top team Pacific from winning this. Oh, there we go. Engage coming from Shyvana. Shyvana going down to Lucian there, and only
Forced to initiate the team fight dito. And not thinking well din sa laban nila kasi alam nila ngayon na matapos na yung laban for
Trundle
Team Pacific.
ignoring the rest
Ignoring
of
any
the team.
champion for the team. And this it mga kaibigan, it's a
And
1-1
it's game.
score sa ating series. Pacific versus Team MSI Evo.
Wow.
Game 2. Very good job for team ng Pacific sa laban na to. What a turnaround for their team. MSI Evo GT back and forth ang ating laban.
Yes, so it looks like we will be proceeding to a game 3 blind pick. So we're gonna have a short break, but before that, of course, let's talk about this game. So really interesting match. A little bit less action in this game. It was pretty quiet. As you see here, the kill count is much lower compared to the last game. But the things that are similar about this is that both teams basically pushed through the mid lane, and after picking up the Baron buff, this allowed them to basically go on and charge in the mid lane to finish up the game. Of course, Nidalee, like I said at the start, before the game even started, the Nidalee going through was bad news already. We've seen how powerful the players, AP mid carries of Philippines are really good at Nidalee, and those spears.
Ito kasi yung maganda kay Nidalee. In the early part of the game, yes, you can you don't have enough damage output kasi alam mo naman na yung spear, kailangan mong patama yan eh. Kailangan mong mas, yung spear na to, skill shot. So sa late game lang siya, possible talaga na mag-dominate sa laban. Lalo na kapag mabot siya ng level 6 with that Cougar form, he can dominate the team fight. She can gain the advantage of giving a lot of poke damage against their opponent sa laban na to. Kung papasin mo, lahat ng spear dito from Daisoas ay enough for their team to gain the advantage in every team fight na mangyayari dito. Like what I've said, they have to make sure na meron silang enough damage output for the team of MSI EvoGT before engaging the team fight dito. Once again, very good job. Both teams, congratulations. 1-1 score na.
Yes.
One more game mga kaibigan for the Pro Gaming Series 2014 Summer Promotion. And take note, sa lahat ng nanonood, meron po tayong laban mamaya. Team Crying versus team ng Mineski.
Yes.
Stay tuned lang kayo dyan mga kaibigan. MSI EvoGT versus Team Pacific Game 3. Maya-maya lamang after a few minute break.